people just need to start driving their cars a little more.
Well, there was what, like a couple hundred they laid off from down there.
Did. My whole team was eliminated, fortunately.
Okay, Jeff, we are live. We do not have Erica yet, and I know Hunter's going to be logging in, but it's up to you whenever you're ready.
We lost Jeff. You made us all hungry. We'll adjourn and go to Waffle House and have a meeting.
There.
See if Jeff misses us when he comes back on.
Jeff, we are live on YouTube. So whenever you're ready.
You're muted.
Of course I am muted.
There you go.
Okay, the City of Bowling Green Planning Commission meeting for March of 2021 will come to order. Jamie, please call the roll.
Mr. Earhart,
Here.
Mr. Betts,
Here.
Ms. Ennis,
Here.
Mr. McComber,
Here.
Mr. Michael,
Here.
Mr. J. Phillips,
Here.
Mr. K. Phillips,
Here.
Ms. Sleek, and Mr. Spittler.
Here.
All right, we all got a copy of the minutes from last month's meeting. Quite a package. Thank you for your hard work on that, Jamie. Does anybody have any notes or corrections they want to add to the minutes?
I think she could publish it as a novel with a link.
Right. Okay, well, seeing no changes being requested, the minutes are approved as read, which brings us to lobby visitation for this evening. Heather, is there anyone in the chamber there who wishes to come forward and speak to the Planning Commission tonight?
There are a few people here, but I don't see anybody running to the podium. So I think we're in the clear.
Okay, in that case, we will close lobby visitation and move to our public hearing for this evening regarding the annexation of approximately 10.822 plus or minus acres on Bowling Green Road East, identified as parcel number C11-511-210-000011000 from Center Township. Richard and Judith Carpenter are the petitioners. Heather, do you want to give us your staff report?
Yes, I'm going to share the map. If you can help me find it, Jake. Where is that at? Oh, okay. Thank you. I am going a little blind here. Okay, thank you. I know you had this map in your packets, but for the benefit of the audience we may have, I wanted to make sure that was shared. We did receive a petition to annex 10.822 plus or minus acres on Bowling Green Road East, which is also known or will be known as East Booster Street when annexed to the city from Center Township. Gave you the parcel ID already. This is due to electrical service for a new cell tower that was constructed on these 10 acres. And according to pictures I have now, it looks like it's pretty much done. So just a heads up on that. It was built, of course, in the township. So again, they do need to annex because of electrical service. After this, if it is annexed, we will need to set that interim zoning and recommend that actually to City Council. We received one phone call today, basically inquiring if it included the house along Bowling Green Road East. It does not include the house. It follows this kind of odd shaped parcel. So the house is not part of this, but that was the only question we did receive. So that is it, unless you have any specific questions for me that I can answer.
Anybody have any questions for Heather? Okay. Is there a representative for the Carpenters, or are they there tonight to come forward and give us applicant testimony?
No, they are not.
Okay, and no representative. All right. And is there anyone in the chamber, Heather, who from the public who wishes to come forward and give us public testimony about this annexation request?
No, there is not.
All right, well, that makes it easy. We'll just close the public hearing and move to our deliberation. Does anybody have anything they want to say, or any follow-up questions for Heather about this particular parcel? Nothing? You guys got nothing tonight? All right. Well, that being the case, I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. I move that we recommend approval of this annexation to City Council. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And Jamie, could you please take a roll call vote?
Mr. Earhart,
Yes.
Mr. Betts,
Yes.
Ms. Ennis,
Yes.
Mr. McComber,
Yes.
Mr. Michael,
Yes.
Mr. J. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. K. Phillips,
Yes.
Ms. Sleek here, sorry, and Mr. Spittler.
Yes.
Okay, so motion passes unanimously. So that is our recommendation for City Council, which brings us to the interim zoning recommendation. Heather, what do you have for us on this front?
Sure. Well, according to the zoning code, section 150.120, I, being the zoning inspector, basically I'm required to recommend to you that you adopt the existing zoning in Center Township. In this case, it already is zoned industrial in Center Township. And as you know, Bowling Green has several zoning classifications for industrial. So it really is up to you what you would like to do with that. I do believe M3 Business Park likely makes the most sense, since that is what Woodbridge is zoned, and it is adjacent to Woodbridge. And we anticipate at some point in time that Newer Road, Woodstream Drive would be expanded to the east, since, as you recall, we did annex 40 acres last year, and that is also zoned M3.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Heather about that? Well, I mean, if that is what plugs into the plan best, and looking forward, it seems like that would be the direction to go. Does anyone want to make a motion on this? If not, I will certainly be happy to do that.
Also move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, so it has been moved and seconded that we recommend an interim zoning of M3 Business Park to City Council. Jamie, please take the roll call vote.
Who seconded? I'm sorry.
Joe Phillips.
Okay, thank you.
The Marshall Amp guy.
Mr. Earhart,
Yes.
Mr. Betts,
Yes.
Ms. Ennis,
Yes.
Mr. McComber,
Yes.
Mr. Michael,
Yes.
Mr. J. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. K. Phillips,
Yes.
and Mr. Spittler.
Yes.
Okay, once again, motion is approved unanimously. So our recommendation to council is for the M3 Business Park interim zoning, which brings us to our next item on the agenda, which is a rezoning request for approximately 1.4125 plus or minus acres located at 304 North Church Street, 316 North Church Street, and 305 North Main Street from the I-1 institutional and S3 planned institutional zoning classifications to the B3 B-3 Central Business District zoning classification, and the City of Bowling Green is the applicant. So as is our normal procedure, we will set this for public hearing at our very next Planning Commission meeting on the 7th of April, which takes us down to the annexation request we've received for approximately 18.51 plus or minus acres off South Winter Garden Road, identified as parcel numbers, excuse me, R63-510-260-401-001-000 and R63-510-260-401-001-005 from Plain Township, City of Bowling Green, and Carleen Krebs. Excuse me, from Plain Township and City of Bowling Green and Carleen Krebs are the applicants, but you all knew that. Here again, we will set this for public hearing at our next Planning Commission meeting on the 7th of April, which brings us to our public construction projects. Heather, what can you tell us about those?
Yeah. Staff is requesting approval of several public construction projects, and they are summarized in the memo that I will read to you. These are from the engineering division and include water, sewer, roadways resurfacing projects slated for this year. As we all know, sometimes the bids come back a little high and they may not be able to get out to all those, but this is what the budget has been approved for by City Council. So for water projects, we have West Wooster Street water, replace the water line from Church Street to Wallace. The village water line replacement of all water lines in the village subdivision. Sewer, Country Club sewer, replace the sewer under Country Club Golf Course. Miscellaneous sewer lining, which has not yet been determined exactly by utilities for 2021. For roadway, we have Thurston Avenue from Wooster Street to Court Street. We have East Wooster Street from the railroad tracks to Campbell Hill. Quail Hollow, Finch Drive, North Finch Drive, Wren Road, Cardinal Road, Teal Trail, and Martin Road. West Wooster Street from Grove Street to the corporation limits. That's actually slated for 2022. Coventry, which includes Devonshire Street, Cobblestone Drive, Tamarack Lane, and Somerset Street. And then West Gypsy Lane Road, Sandridge Road to Rudolph, and Sandridge Road, Maple Street to Rudolph Road. And that is it.
All right, well, that's a nice slate of, excuse me, like a nice slate of projects. Does anybody have any questions about any of these for Heather? Okay, well, here again, looks pretty straightforward. I think to save time, I will move that we recommend approval for all of the projects. Is there a second?
All set. Go ahead, Bob.
Second.
All right, it had been moved and seconded to approve all mentioned projects. Jamie, can you please take a roll call vote?
Mr. Earhart,
Yes.
Mr. Betts,
Yes.
Ms. Ennis,
Yes.
Mr. McComber,
Yes.
Mr. Michael,
Yes.
Mr. J. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. K. Phillips,
Yes.
and Mr. Spittler.
Yes.
Okay, once again, it's unanimous. Our recommendation is to approve all of the public construction projects, which brings us to our reports for this evening. Judy, do you have anything to tell us about the ZBA?
No, we did not have a meeting last month, but we will be back in action this coming Wednesday. So please all come and see us. It's an exciting evening.
Okay, and Heather, do you have a report for us?
I have no report tonight, but I just wanted to thank Planning Commission for all their work on the historic preservation ordinance. Council has been busy also on that project. And also special thanks to Will and Chris that have helped and attended the council meeting. So I think that's appreciated.
Very good. Well, that brings us to the end of our meeting for tonight. So meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for being here. Have a good night.